What's up, everybody? This is John with the Unpaid Gamers. I have another Car Thoughts video for you. I'm driving to a job and it's gloomy as hail out here. It's all gray and rainy and I don't know. I guess that's winter weather, right? But anyway, I've been hitting the games hard lately, so I thought I'd kind of keep doing some videos and let you know what I'm thinking of all these titles, because I don't do commentary on my videos. I just been doing a playthrough or just playing an hour or so of it. So if you've kept up with the channel, I have been doing a leisure play of Callisto Protocol, which turned into like a full playthrough. I completed it. Overall, I really like the game. I think it's cool. I think, I hear a lot of hate or a lot of dislike for it, or call it mediocre, and I really disagree with most of that. There are some valid things, though, for sure. A lot of people complain about the playtime, and really the playtime, if you just kind of just go through it normal pace or whatever, you'll reach about probably about around 10-hour mark or so. And like single player games used to just be 10-12 hours and stuff, like for a solid narrative based game. So many things are open world now. It takes forever to beat and complete or go through, and like that stuff's cool. You get a lot of value for your money that way, but not every game is best suited for that. And this is one of those games that I think really benefits from a very curated playthrough experience. So it's really good. It is one of the titles to take advantage of the $10 price hike though. So $70 a game for a 10-hour experience. While it's good, like that's kind of valued individually, right? Like some people would see that as worth it, some people not. There is challenge modes and stuff that they're doing, but that comes in the season pass, and the season pass is like an additional $30. So it's kind of a steep buy-in for this experience, depending on what you want out of it. For me, if you've paid attention to anything I've said in the recent times, I get a lot of mine with like Amazon credits and stuff, so it doesn't cost me. So I kind of look at it through a little bit different lens, but like I still see the $70 price tag. And I've been saying for years that we're lucky that games are still $60 when they were, based on the multi-million-dollar budgets and stuff that are floating around out there, and these big, huge blockbuster titles. I'm surprised that it stayed $60 for as long as it did. And if you look back in the day, like Super Nintendo games and shit like that was Wild West. Some of those were $80, $90 for a Super Nintendo game. So by today's standards, that's way out of whack value-wise. And then we kind of went to a standard $50. Introduction of 360 era and PS3 era brought a $10 price hike for that, which brought it to the standard $60 now. And then now we're jumping up to a $70 thing. So I think people kind of forget or haven't been around long enough to see some of that history there and understand, these jumps are like, it should be no surprise. I have something in my eye. If I can get it without wrecking and dying, it would be nice. So, I don't think it's really outrageous for the $70 price tag. But when you get into experiences like this that are, a 10-hour curated kind of narrative thing, do your research before you get it and make sure that you're not going to feel sour about that. That aside, though, it was a really great experience. It looks phenomenal. It's one of the best looking games I've played. It's very slow paced. I've heard some people talk about kind of the pacing and stuff like that, and some of these decisions being made about how they do things. But like I think most of that's really intentional, and I think it serves the atmosphere well. You know, it's meant to be slow paced and to kind of force you into the mood and to get that creepy atmosphere going. It's challenging for sure. So much so, like midway playthrough, I'm like, I'm not enjoying this on the regular level. Like, I could get through it, but I died a lot. Which, you know, there's cool death animations and stuff, but like, I'm not enjoying this to how I want to spend my time and stuff. So I dropped it down a little bit lower, and for me, that was a better experience. The boss fights still were pretty challenging, and if you watch the playthrough, you know, some of those I've died a bunch of times, and you know, and some of those boss fights, like, I thought could have been mixed up a little more. You had like 5 boss fights through the whole game, and only 2 unique bosses. So that was something. You know, the one type of boss, like, I fought, you know, a bunch of times. It seems like 3 times for sure for this one, and it's kind of the same to defeat it every time. You know, there was kind of a mini boss fight at a certain point with different types of creatures. I think overall, like, the enemy variety and stuff was pretty good. I just think the boss fights, it's like, this thing again. But whatever, I guess. You know, some of that, like, can feel cheapish, you know, like you fight the same thing, and then, like, oh, this time though, there's exploding monsters crawling towards me at the same time, and it's like, really? Like, you gotta do that? Like, it almost sometimes feels a little cheap, but it wasn't really too bad. I beat the game, and you know, once you kind of get the hang of some of those bosses, it's not too bad. There was a couple moments of frustration for sure for me. One was, you know, the very final boss. There's 2 stages too, and I got to the second stage, and it saves for you, which is kind of cool. But I had no health, so, like, I would die, and then I would spawn in at the beginning of the second stage with no health. And, like, you have health kits, of course, that you can heal, but they take a minute. So, like, he's got to pull it out, kneel down, inject himself, you know, wait for the little thing to charge up. It's like, it takes a bit, and there's normally not time during boss fights for this. But, you know, the way this happened, like, I could spawn in, and as long as I immediately started, I could heal myself just enough time. I would take a hit right after, but I could still get some more health and kind of continue with the boss battle. So, you know, for the most parts, the boss hits, you know, the boss damage is like 1 or 2 hits and you're dead. So it's really challenging, that kind of thing. You know, given the alternative, it would have sucked to have went back to the first stage of the boss fight. I think if they spawned you in on the second stage and you had full health, that would have sucked too. It would have felt, you know, it's too easy. So I think it was fine. It was just a moment of frustration and something I did kind of quarter myself into. You know, I could always went back to, like, a manual save if I you know, made one and had a good one there, if I felt too screwed on that situation. But you know, other than that, like, it was really good. I think a lot of I seen one stupid complaint, I think, some article, I don't know if it was IGN or no, maybe it wasn't IGN. It was one of those sites, and they were complaining about like the animation tied to, like, upgrading your weapons and stuff. And I thought that was cool as shit, and I never really got tired of it. You know, basically that you found these 3D printers and you have resources, and you make new weapons, or you make new ammo, or upgrade your weapons, and, like, you put your component in there, and then, like, kind of 3D prints the rest. And I think that was very cool the first time I seen it. And you know, it's not as special as you go on, but, like, it, you know, to me, it really served to just kind of keep you in that world and atmosphere. And, like, I don't know, it just never felt dull to me, because, you know, by the time I got to where I was doing that for the 50th time, I was already in the habit of kind of just going through the game at its desired pace anyway. So I think that's kind of a silly complaint, but, you know, by all means, some people want to just blow through games, and I guess that's fine. It's just not the right game for that. So this game I think is best played just going through the narrative and the experience that they want you to have, and to just take your time and get into the mood and the atmosphere and stuff. You'll get the most out of it that way. Beyond that, let's see. I don't really. I've talked a little bit about the audio log stuff. I like being able to play audio logs while I'm moving around. And this, you got to stay in the menu, and that's kind of a bummer. But I kind of get why they do it too. That if you're walking around with an audio log playing, it can kind of remove you from the moment on one hand. Or like, what do you do? Like, if you get attacked, does it stop? Do you, it's over top of like because they really play up a lot of the atmospheric sounds and stuff. Like I'm, playing with my headset on and stuff. I'm walking, I'll hear growling, or like before an enemy pops out, you can hear it crawling through the vent. Like, starting behind you, moving across to your side to the front, and then bam, it pops out. So I think if you had audio logs playing over that, you would miss some of those things. So, I understand that. It just feels kind of old and clunky to kind of have some of that stuck in the menu. And then two, you're not getting a lot from it. Like, you're getting story details, but like, one thing I really like, Doom 3, for example, it would do the audio logs and stuff, but like you would get locker codes and stuff, or key codes for doors, or combinations, stuff like that. Or Last of Us, you would find notes that would have story components, but then you would also get like combinations for safes and stuff. And to this, it's purely just a story, and I don't know, it's okay. It's just not there's not much incentive to kind of keep listening to him if you don't want to just stop, take time out, hear this thing, over and over and over. And after a while, I just got to where I just didn't even listen to him at the end. I stopped caring, really. I think it's cool that games do it, but I think you got to be careful on how you use it, and not make it seem meaningless at the same time. So that's my thoughts on Callisto Protocol. The narrative was great. It ended well. It's ending with setting it up for a sequel. I like the ending. I like the overall story and what it accomplished, and I think it's a really cool game. So I wrapped that up. I played a little bit of Marvel Midnight Suns. I like it so far. I've streamed like an hour and a half of it, not a ton. I will go back and stream more of that when I play it, but I want to check it out for a few minutes and kind of see how it is. It looks great. The opening cinema I thought was a little goofy because it's like heavily compressed and not full screen and kind of looks like shit. But once you get in the game, it looks great, and the combat's pretty fun so far. A little weird to kind of get used to some of the mechanics, I think, but it's cool. I think it's cool. I don't know how all that stuff will age as you play. Like, is it going to get old, or is it any of that stuff? So we'll see. I'll talk about it again as I keep playing it. But I did play a little bit of it just to see what it was about, and then I jumped into God of War Ragnarok, and because I've really been anxious to play that. I just wanted to play Callisto Protocol first, mostly because I knew that was a shorter game, and I'd get through it. And God of War, I'd like to take my time as well and just kind of go through. And anymore, I'm not a completist with these things, but I try to do a mix of side stuff and main stuff, and just kind of naturally go through it how I want to go through, not to get all the side stuff or just do the main thing or power through it or whatever. I just play, and whatever I feel like doing, I do. And then when it's done, that's mostly it. Some games I do a little differently, but for the most part, that's kind of how I like to play games these days. So anyway, I moved through Callisto Protocol, played a little bit of Midnight Suns, and then now jumping into Ragnarok. And that game so far is excellent. It starts off with a really emotional scene. I have to kind of get going a little bit, and then it moves to this epic battle with Thor you're introduced to, which is played by Ryan Hurst. Ope from Sons of Anarchy, if you're not aware, and killer voice there. I love to see him in that role. You know, he kind of looks like him too, like not like body shape or anything, because you know they made Thor kind of fat. You know, but the facial features are very similar, and I just love I love that actor. So you know, very cool voice hearing in there, and does a great job so far. That was a very cool battle, and then you kind of go off on your new adventure. You know, it continues right off from the first one. Fast forward, you know, a few years later, but so far that's excellent. I'm having a hard time though, like, you know, when I play some of these games back to back like that, immediately going to others, and like it's been a while since I played the first God of War, kind of getting in the rhythm of the combat again, because like, you know, Callisto Protocol, the combat's a little tricky. So now I'm going into this and I'm like, you know, muscle memory's a real thing, so I'm trying to get a handle on that. I feel like I'm kind of sucking at it, but I'm getting through it. Playing it on like its normal difficulty and stuff. I love all the puzzles and stuff of the world with God of War. You know, just with the axe and the freezing elements and the fire elements, and I love all that stuff. That's been very cool so far, and I don't know, those games are premium experience for sure. So I've been streaming it. I've got a few parts, so a couple hours total I've streamed so far. I don't know, I probably won't do a playthrough of it. I'll probably you know, just stream a little more potentially, or something of it, but I don't think I'll do a full playthrough because it's going to be a while with that one. But you know, I was playing at one point and like it's crashed a couple times on me, so at one point like stream got interrupted, so I just started right back. But if you're watching, that's what happened there. Not like a big annoying problem or anything. It just crashed once, and I think the other crash I was thinking about was Callisto Protocol recently. But I don't know, you know, new games, and shit happens. But so far, God of War Ragnarok's awesome. I guess that's about all I've been playing on PlayStation. I haven't played anything on Xbox or Switch, and on a Steam Deck I'm kind of bouncing around trying to find something to play. You know, tried out a few titles and stuff, and I've mostly been playing through Proteus on there, which is an old school kind of new retro shooter, which is completely awesome. You should check that out, and I'll talk more at length about that at a certain point, I'm sure. But it's a great game. You find it for $20. It's you know, kind of tons of options. Like, it's 3D rendered, but like you can, it's kind of have the pixel filter on it. You could do MIDI music, or it's regular music, which is more like the, you know, newer Doom rockin' soundtrack stuff. Completely awesome. Level design is amazing, and very cool game so far. I really like it. So you know, and it's got a world map, which is kind of cool. Like, you know, Super Mario World or something, but you know, for that type of game. So it's kind of weird, some of that stuff, but super cool so far. I love indie titles, and you know, I love retro shooters especially as well. So this one's super cool, and I would highly recommend it so far. So anyway, that's about what I've been playing. That's what I played through. That's my thoughts on stuff so far. Keep a lookout. I'll keep streaming stuff. Again, I don't know if I'll do a full playthrough of God of War. Probably not, but I may stream some more of it at least. I'll definitely stream some other titles. I have a bunch of stuff lined up that I kind of want to check out, and I always kind of try to stream those like the first hour or so at least. So more of that stuff coming. Of course, more car thoughts, and you know, check out everybody else's videos. I don't know what's going on with Tom at the moment. I haven't seen him really doing anything, playing games, but not doing any videos. So I'm sure he'll be back sometime soon, and I'll of course keep putting stuff out. So anyway, if you stuck around for the video, thanks. Keep on the lookout. There'll be more stuff if you enjoy what we do, and that's pretty much it. So until next time, see ya.